For my CCR, I thought to get a better image of me, I decided to scroll through my Pinterest so everyone watching this can see the real me and they could be entertained with little pictures as I explain my movie. And as I scroll through the Pinterest, there might be some stuff on there. As I say, it'd be PG-13 or like TV-14, but it's truly not that bad. And so to begin with question one, in some parts in our production, we do follow the codes and conventions of a traditional horror movie because we have blood. We revealed this once Bonnie was murdered, and we splattered the actor in blood we made from corn syrup and red food coloring to connect with our inspiration from the Scream movie. We also had screaming from Sarah due to the fear of seeing Bonnie's body and the murder. Whereas we do have some conventional codes and conventions, there are also some unconventional ones that we include in our movie. Our film was filmed in the daytime. Most 1990s to 2000s horror/thriller films were filmed during the night, usually while it's raining, then with a blue or orange filter put over it. We filmed during the sunniest day and added no filter to it. With no filter, we felt it added the teen 2000s movie aesthetic, such as Detention that came out in 2011. With no filter on it, the overall mood of the film was cheerful and coming of age. We included the scene of Bonnie and Sarah, the two characters getting ready, which adds the classic teenage 2000 movie code, and the inspiration we took from Detention. The groups our movie represents is teenagers, a sister dynamic, and a struggle with death. Our movie shows the lives of two teenage sisters who experience a tragic event, the death of a sibling. To represent teenagers, we dressed in clothes that were popular during the 2000s and listening to trending music during these years, such as Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger, made in 1997, and Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, also made in 1997. For each of these aesthetics, these characters are represented. The two girls were seen in bikinis, using purses and beach bags, big sunglasses, 1990s to 2000 makeup, and hairstyles from these years. The sister dynamic was because we wanted to show their dynamic to each other, which we made the characters have a good relationship where they playfully tease each other, and this strengthened the on-screen chemistry of our two actors. Question 2. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So, the product we created engages with audiences because it allows them to relate to the characters. Seeing teenagers and siblings, they would be able to put themselves in their shoes of the girls and relate to Sarah's loss as if they lost their own sibling. The characters in the film are teenagers, so the way they speak, such as the slang and the tone, would be relatable to the viewers. Now, Y2K fashion is coming back in popularity. Our movie would be able to fill the new consumer need for the Y2K aesthetic. Our film would be distributed in all theaters, then after 3 months it would be released on streaming platforms such as Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Video, and Paramount. To get these viewers excited about the film, we would advertise on social media such as TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat because we want to target the 13 plus kids. And these apps would have the highest traffic for the targets. By showing the trailer, showing sneak peeks, and creating its own personal Instagram page to push the content and increase a want among the viewers. The time that this movie would be released in summer in the theaters would be during summertime, so early June, and it would take place during Summerween. So Summerween is pretty much just a Halloween spent celebrated in the summer, and the beach horror movie would draw this market into the theaters. Question 3. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? At the beginning of this project, I will fully say I had absolutely no skill with production, but as my partner and I worked together and learned a lot of skills, this experience grew. During filming, I learned a lot and saw how many of these different camera angles and shots were executed. And in being in the shoes of a director allowed me to see how hard filming truly was. In the process of editing, we explored different apps such as iMovie and Canva, but we chose CapCut because it was the easiest to navigate and use. While using Canva for a lot of projects, my skills had grown, but since with this filming had creating the poster and multiple slideshows gave me practice to truly master the art of using Canva. While we were filming, we ran into some problems that we brought upon ourselves. The first problem we faced was that we forgot to get the blood, and then we forgot to get a bowl to mix it in. To counter this, we ran to the store to get what we needed to make the blood, and used the cap from the corn syrup to mix the right amount we needed. Then we completely forgot a book for Bonnie to read while at the beach, so we improvised with her just taking a nap. It did not add much as we wanted for the character, but it did do the trick. Then we also forgot a speaker to play diegetic music when Sarah discovers Bonnie's body. So instead, we made it silent to increase the suspense, and the only diegetic sounds are the wind, waves, and birds in the background. Watching the intro with this gives the audience a more intimate look into Sarah's mind as she's walking towards her sister's body. Once filming was over, we moved to editing. We were both very inexperienced, so it was a great learning experience. A problem during production and editing that we filmed a piece of the film vertically. We did stress about this problem and how it could completely change the mood of the movie. After a couple of minutes of playing around with the controls and options on CapCut, we achieved our desired outcome by cropping clips and allowing everything to fit together. This movie finally ran smoothly. After this experience, we felt we had grown and to learn a lot because we were exploring the options and learned how to do other things to help enhance our film. This now brings us to question 4. How do we integrate technology such as software, hardware, and the online in this project? We integrated technologies into this project by first using my partner's iPhone to film the movie. We used the cinematic feature on our camera to be able to capture it fully in a way that looks just as good as the professional movies. For our other technologies we used was an HP Envy computer to help edit, locate locations to film, songs to use, and to write our script. The software we used was mostly CapCut and Canva. CapCut was extremely useful for making the editing process simpler for us since we were beginners and had absolutely no clue what we were doing. It had everything laid out and it was simple to navigate. With Canva, the software helped us organize our thoughts in a pleasant way. Canva really helped us create storyboards so we can plan how we will execute our film in the most effective way. Another way we used our computers is for research online. Research was a crucial part of this movie. We needed to learn as much of the different variations of 1990s and 2000s horror and teen movies there are so we can use those conventions in our movie, as well as costumes and makeup. I would also like to add all of these pictures that you are seeing, I do not take credit for making them. All of the users are on the page with their usernames, and I do not own them. Thank you for listening to my CCR. Hope you enjoyed.